Yo, I'm Samuel Sarfo,
I'm Adam Dash.
and welcome to Sound Centric. My boy Adam, how you doing, man?
Man, we're back.
We
We're
are
back. We've been troubleshooting this virtual recording for a minute, and finally, we are here.
Yeah, man, it's been a lot of work and it's been a grind too. But how have you been, bro? Summer? I just graduated. School is over. How have you been?
Yes, congrats. People who are watching, clap up for Sam.
Oh,
He
for me,
graduated.
why for graduating? No, thank you. I'll give
Yeah,
myself some cheers.
it's a
I'll
big
give
thing.
myself
There
some
you go.
cheers.
Throw in your own sound effects. A little narcissistic. It's been good. I'm back in Jersey. I had my first day of work today. I'm working for Live Nation. I'm doing some marketing for them.
Yeah, that deserves some
So
cheers.
I get my own clap, yeah.
You hear this, guys? He's working for Live Nation. Talk your shit, Adam.
So yeah, I'm excited to see what I'll be doing for them. We'll see if I get some discounts on some shows. I'm trying to see
Yes, sir.
Pusha T when he comes to Philly soon. Maybe go to the
Mm-hmm.
Roots Pick. No, it's crazy. I was saying this
What?
to my boss today, but there's a festival in Philly called the Roots Picnic, which is ran by the Roots, and two of the main acts are the main acts are Benny the Butcher and Freddie Gibbs.
Where is this
So
at?
this is in Philly. So
Dang.
I'm curious how they're gonna have Benny the Butcher and Freddie Gibbs in the same place.
Well,
We're gonna
yo,
talk
this
more.
guy got him choked. Because guess what? I got me some Kendrick Lamar, Mr. Morale, the Big
Yeah,
Steppers
actually.
tickets here at the Shot. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. Kendrick Lamar.
sir.
He's back, and we finally get to talk about this album. I mean, the most anticipated album, one of probably for sure, since 2017, Damn. And it's finally here for us to finally review and break it down
Yes.
for you guys.
I want to say that I was telling Sam I said it on this podcast. I said it right here. I said he needs to drop the Heart Part 5.
Yep.
We need it. I'm seeing what's it, Doctor Strange, the multiverse.
Yep.
Bad movie.
Hey, no, it was good.
America Chavez, not a good actress.
Okay, we're gonna fight out this. Okay.
Yeah, but I get out of the movie and I get out of the movie and I see that Kendrick Lamar Duckworth has done what I said he should do, and as many people on Twitter have been spewing about, he drops the Heart Part 5. First off, such a cool music video. Obviously switching the faces and last verse rapping from Nipsey Hussle's perspective. I love the jazzy vibe on that song. What did you think when you first heard it?
It's kind of funny because Adam's the one who told me about it. I really thought Kendrick wasn't going to drop anything. Adam sends me a message about a rumor that the Heart Part 5 might drop. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
shout out
no way,
Thin
that's
Ice.
absolute cap. If it doesn't come from Oklahoma, it's cap. And then 10 seconds later, he sends me the link. I'm like, oh, shoot. The thing is, I heard the song first before I saw the video.
Yeah.
And just by the song alone, oh my God, that Marvin Gaye sample,
Mhm.
absolutely amazing.
Crazy.
And the rapping, the production, his ability to storytell and then add that video along top of it, I was really thinking some crazy thoughts. And I was texting Adam too, and even my friends, they thought I was tripping. But at that time, look, I was saying Kendrick is number one. He's better than Jay, Big, Nas, and all of them. After hearing this album, I did love it. And we'll talk about that more in a bit. But I've calmed down a little bit, and
Wait,
he's somewhere in the top 10.
Did you see that thing? There was an artist who I forget what label Kendrick signed to. I know he signed to Top Dog, but I'm saying
Interscope. Aftermath. With Dr.
I'm saying
Dre.
the giant because everything's under another big label. There's 4 major labels.
So you're
Sony
saying
Music
something's
Group.
on top of
So
Aftermath?
yeah, just say whatever the label he's under. Another artist, and he wasn't coming at Kendrick, but he said that he made a music video 2 years ago with a similar face changing thing. And he was like, I low-key did this, and I'm on the same label as Kendrick, so you never know about those things. And he wasn't trying to get clout or anything. I think it was a fair point. It is similar, and they are on the same label. But
homie, listen, I support my independent artist. I love independent artists.
He wasn't even independent. No, he signed to the label.
Oh, well, he's a clown too. Bro, you know how many people do face changes? Kendrick is not the first person who did it. Lil Wayne literally did it a couple months before. And you know who the first big person who did it was? Michael Jackson, Black or White. So for you to put that out there, you just wanted some clout real quick, bro. Let's not even mention that clown, bro. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, but I just can't deal with that nonsense. But yo, what were your expectations for this album, man? It's big. It's Kendrick freaking Lamar.
Kendrick Lamar Duckworth. You can see behind me. We got the best hip hop album ever made behind me.
Agreed.
It's Pimp a Butterfly. How how could one not come in with the craziest of expectations? And I do this to myself. I come into the off season. I'm like, this is my favorite rapper ever. Like, this is gonna be my favorite album ever. Same thing with Silk Sonic. I did that to myself. Did it to myself again here. Um, and we'll dive more into this point. But I think it's hard because this album, and everyone's been saying it, it doesn't have. It's not made for replay value. It's not made to be like. It's not like Damn. But the thing that's hard is that when we wait 5 years, which to Kendrick, he didn't wait 5 years. He took a 2 year break probably from making music, and then probably made this album over 2 years. But to us, we're like, oh, he was making this album for 5 years. He probably wasn't.
As if COVID
Um,
wasn't a thing or like
yeah,
the riots.
yeah. Like I'm sure he took a break, then started making it, whatever. But I think it's hard that when we wait for 5 years for him to release an album, that is kind of difficult to keep consuming over and over again because like we didn't wait to me at least, I didn't wait like 5 years to not play this album after the month it released. If that makes
Damn.
sense.
You said not play this album at all?
Like I play certain songs. I'm still and we'll go through each song by song. I'm still learning what I'm liking.
Yeah.
Um this it's my least favorite Kendrick album.
Least.
Least favorite.
So you bump in what's it called? The So Dedicated, whatever it's called? Is it So Dedicated? The one
Oh
before
no.
Section 80.
Okay, I'm not
I'm just tripping, I'm
including that.
messing with you. Starting from Section 80.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
fair
I think I
enough.
like Section 80 more than this.
Okay, that's fair enough. And there's a big quote, or at least in the music world. And when you make music, there's two things: you make music for your fans, and make music for yourself. I know sometimes
Yeah.
when I write, I'm not making bars, songs for people. It's for myself and
Yeah.
what I want to hear and what I'm putting out. There's actually a snippet that leaked, and I think this is part of Kendrick's documentary, which hopefully we get more information on.
Mhm.
But there's a leak that came out, and he basically said he knew what he was doing. He said that he could make an album full of radio hits if he wanted to, but instead
Of
he
course.
opted out and he did something that was true to his heart. And that was what he wanted to put out, and something that, and the message for the black community out there, and the internal struggles that he was going through for him to go to therapy. We can definitely say this is Kendrick's most vulnerable album. Can we not say that?
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
And the thing I love about Kendrick, I know you're talking about this earlier. J. Cole, when he makes his music, although J. Cole he is very complex and deep, but sometimes his things are very easy to understand the first time through, second time
Yeah.
through. Kendrick you have to listen to a lot of times over and over and over. And this was a very difficult project to get through. It was just so different in left
Yeah.
field. When I heard the Hard Part 5, I thought I was getting that
Yeah.
Kendrick. Oh shoot. And all of a sudden,
Uh-huh.
I grieve different. Ah so I was
I
like, yeah.
I agree. No, that's I like that. I think that's one of the best intros I've heard in a while. Like
Yeah,
that's
I
one of the
love it.
songs I really love on it.
Mhm.
Um, what was I gonna say? I
It's been
think it's just well,
1,855
for one, people
days.
are saying that people are saying this is it's cause it's so experimental. To Pimp a Butterfly is more experimental. First off,
I think they're around
I
each other.
don't.
I can accept your argument, but it's around
I,
each other, I would say.
and I think one issue with this is that Baby Keem was the skill set was developed by Kendrick. There's proof like online. There's reference tracks of Kendrick doing that like Baby Keem voice. So
Mhm.
then Baby Keem becomes famous off of using these voices and doing this music. So then when Kendrick does it, it gives off like the vibe that like he's like being too Baby Keemish on songs. And like it sucks because he did help his cousin do that, but there are certain tracks on here that I think are a little too like it's just not my vibe. Like
Yeah.
at 95, um, I like the second half of the song. I don't like the first part when he goes, wait, how's it begin with like
The lullaby goes, "Hello, good
no,
world,
that part's
all the
cool.
boys and
I
girls,
think I
hey."
think that I think that part's dope. It's right after that when he goes,
Oh, take off
oh,
the popo. Oh,
take
take
out
off
the
the
wide ass
foo-foo.
jewelry, take
Take
out the
off the
10, take out the bent. Like
yeah.
I don't like when he does that voice. It's just not good to me. I don't
Yeah.
like it. But then when he gets into
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the fuck you out of pocket,
Mhm.
that part like starts getting to more like then he goes into like the fucking like the different voices and he's
Mhm.
rapping his ass off. I like that, but I can't. It's not growing on me that part of the song.
Yeah, I definitely agree with what you're saying. With obviously Kendrick was the one who helped guide Baby Keem to find his sound and use that
Yeah,
influence. And what kind of turned me off? This was my very first listen. I'm very thankful that I gave this a lot more times, and I was sick and tired of people on Twitter and Instagram already critiquing the album when it just came out.
yeah, you can't do that. It's too
Yeah,
hard.
you can't do that. And at first, I turned me off because again, those little Keem references, those ad libs, the high voices,
Uh huh.
it was just a lot for me. I'm like, this isn't original Kendrick. I could say like this isn't the Kendrick I'm used to. I find that's a better
Yeah,
way to say it. So it's definitely left field, but I love the introduction. United We Grieve, like you said. It said
so fire.
1,855 days. I like the beat switch at the end. The drum break comes in, and he's trying to explain to you that basically even with all this money in the world, he still grieves and all the problems. He can buy all the stuff he wants to, but that's still not going to change the fact that he's going through something that's deep.
Yeah,
N95, when I first heard it, bro, I hated it because again, those baby Keem inflections I did not like, and I was
uh-huh.
kind of confused why he was doing this. But then it grew on me, it grew on me, it grew on me. But I do love the concept. Again, take off the fufu, take off the. If you don't know fufu, bro, you see that right there?
What am
That's
I looking
made
at?
from Ghana, homemade.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what a big dish from Ghana is? Fufu. And fufu is another word for saying like fake. Take off the fakeness.
Uh-huh.
Take out the fugazi. So the N95 is clever a little bit with take off the
Yeah,
mask, but at the same time take off all the jewelry and stuff because without it, you're nothing. You're really
yeah.
ugly. That's
So
what he's trying to say, you know?
I think a common theme for me in this album, and thank you for saying that because I didn't know that, is that conceptually it's so amazing. Like it's incredible. The idea, this whole thing that it's his wife talking to him about how he needs to see a
Hmm.
therapist, and he's slowly
Shout out
going
to
through
Whitney.
opening up about himself. But that doesn't mean, even though it's so conceptually and written well, doesn't mean I'm always gonna like the way that he went about rapping it and putting it into a song. So
Yeah.
although there's a lot of meaning behind that part of the song, I still don't like listening to it that much.
Are
For
you
that
talking
one
about
specifically.
N95?
And 95.
Man, I feel like that's cap. Since I've talked to Adam, all I hear is "Hello, new world." I
Oh,
hear him
the
singing
boys and
all the
girls.
time.
I like the
It's ca
interest in the
yeah.
song, they're cool.
Yeah. The one thing I'll say is, like again, Kendrick said he could have made radio hits if he wanted to. These songs, although they can be catchy, they're not easily catchy. They're not like Drake easy. You hear it once, you pick it up.
Yeah,
They kind of take time because he's doing a different voice, and those ad libs are so straight faced. You out of pocket. What? You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's kind of just really different. So
uh-huh.
I feel like you're alluding towards Worldwide Steppers when you say you didn't like his delivery. Did you not like his delivery then?
Um, I'm trying to think. Is Robot Steppers when he goes like that's when he's talking about the, women he
Yeah, his
fucked?
wife. Yeah, when he,
Yeah.
yeah, the infidelities.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I
yeah.
told you my feelings on his delivery, I didn't like it.
I,
Yeah. Like, once
yeah,
again, the message behind the track, I love. I think it's a dope song, and it's, like, something like I'm reading on Genius, I'm like, "This guy's a fucking genius," and I like the beat switch, and he gets into the more, like, soulful, like, West Side Gun type beat kinda
mhm,
vibe, and I just, like, don't love the voice he used on it, and there's
yeah,
ways and I hate to keep comparing to the past albums, but that's what we naturally do when we talk
mhm,
about an album, but I've liked the way he's used his voice in the past in a weird way. Like, I don't know, sometimes it doesn't hit your ear the same way. I thought that when he does that straight voice. It's the same thing
mhm,
which I didn't like on Family Ties when he does that voice either.
mhm.
So
What you're talking about, I understand. I definitely understand why you don't like Roadwide Steppers. Again, it is a very off-putting flow. But if you
yeah,
listen heavy to underground alternative experimental rap, as in like MF Doom and those type of characters, they have these weird offbeat flows, which I can kind of adjust to with this.
yeah,
When you talk about those high pitched voices, I think you're referring to N95, the third voice, the third verse, where he does that really high pitched,
yeah. I
like
mean, that's like the
you
Mona
know,
Lisa type voice.
yeah, yo, perfect, exactly. The
Yeah.
Mona Lisa type.
"Is this the type
Yeah,
of shit they get do?" Yeah.
exactly. But yeah, man. But even so, the definition of this is what I love about it. And once the beat switch hits, did you not like the second flow he used? Because then he changed it and it was on beat again, and it was incredible.
You know, I said I liked when he went to, like, the West Side Gun type beat,
Hmm.
and then I did fuck with that. I just don't know how much I'm gonna be playing this song out, and this is a theme for a lot of the songs on it. I don't know how often I'm gonna be playing these songs out of context from the album.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
like, I think it's a dope song. I just don't know if it's a really heavy song to bump on a car
Hmm.
ride to get food. You know what I
Hey,
mean?
man. Call
And
me
not
a
all
weirdo then.
yeah, and not all music is made for that. And I've
Hmm.
seen so many people comparing this album to the Off Season, which, like,
Hmm.
obviously people are gonna compare Drake and Cole and Kendrick to each other, but these are such 2 different albums. And,
Yeah.
like, clearly Cole's album has more replay value, like, it's just him barring his ass off.
Hmm.
Like, obviously a song like Amari, I'm gonna play before every single track on this album.
Fair, fair,
But there are
fair, fair.
completely different purposes that they're trying to get across.
Thank you. That's what you have to acknowledge first, because
Yeah.
Kendrick wasn't trying to make if Kendrick really wanted to, we saw what he did on the Hard Part 5.
Bro,
He
he
would
could
have
yeah.
killed everybody in this game if he really wanted to. But he said, "No, I'm gonna be vulnerable and do this
Yeah.
step." I get that there's not a lot of replay value on this project. For me, it is. I can bump the first 3 tracks. Usually, I listen to music differently. I have playlists, but I really listen to albums. Every day I
Uh-huh.
listen to a different album. And I can listen through this and I can bump Worldwide Steppers if I want to. I like that flow, the boom, boom, boom. That's my type of beat.
Uh-huh.
I love that type of beat. And what he's talking about, worldwide steppers, we're all steppers worldwide, no matter big, no matter how small. And even in your community, if you're even commit a murder, Kendrick Lamar having infidelities with his wife, which was big. He revealed to
Mhm.
us that he had infidelities. And for me, that was a shocker because this is Kendrick Lamar. He's this one of the most
Yeah.
he's not the greatest generational talent of this generation. He is. So for him to come out and say that is so crazy, you know?
Yeah, and I think in the past, what has made Kendrick the superstar that he is, and I've discussed this, I think, on the podcast before, is that he's so good at making a song with such a like complex message, but he makes it in a catchy way. So we've talked about songs like Swimming Pools, where like what other artists can rap from the perspective of their brain about alcoholism and make it a hit song that's a drinking song in colleges, even though it's about alcoholism. And he has songs like All Right. He has songs like Mad City that are these bangers that have such deeper meanings behind them. And I just thought on this project, and you're saying it, he wasn't trying to do that, but I don't think I think his attempts at making songs like some songs like Die Hard, it's a good song, but I think it's one of his worst attempts at making a catchy song.
Worst.
Out of all of like
Worst?
his like, because like Die Hard, let's be honest, like was made to be like the most one of the if not like the top 3 most streamed song on this project, the way that was made.
Okay. Okay.
So if we took like the top 3 songs from each album that he made
Mhm.
to be like the catchy song, I think
Mhm.
it's the worst.
Okay, that's fair enough. But
You
I
know what I
really did
mean?
enjoy Die Hard, man. I again, a lot of people are clowning this track and they're like, "This is a Black Panther throwaway," which
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. This sounds very similar esque to All the Stars, but I can tell you this:
Uh-huh.
All the Stars is personally one of my favorite Kendrick Lamar songs of all time. It's
Really?
listen. I'm really into, and some people they hate pop infused with rap. I don't mind it. I grew up first with Eminem and Drake back in
Yeah.
2009, 2010, Not
Yeah, I
Afraid
saw
era,
you
so
tweeting
I'm
about,
into that.
Not Afraid today.
Yeah, man. I forget what I tweeted about, but hey, great song, and that song's inspirational. And
Yeah.
when I hear this track, Die Hard, you know it's not too late, you know, to get my feelings straight, you know, just about
Yeah.
relationships and stuff like that.
I go back and
And yeah.
forth on my feelings on this song
Mhm.
because like, it is good, like, shout out Blast, he just dropped an album too.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's great,
Oh my God.
the girl the girl, I don't know how much I like her, Amanda Reifer is her
Mm-hmm.
name.
I
It
mean,
sounds
don't
like
like her. Cherry. I thought that was kind of goofy at first.
yeah, I don't
Cherry,
know.
Cocoa Puffs. What are you talking about, bro?
Dude, it's like just sound-wise, it's a little too, like radio H&M-y type
Poppy. Okay.
for me,
Okay.
but, it's like I literally go back and forth with that song, but then the next song is probably
Mm-hmm.
top 3 definitely in the album, Father Time,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
featuring Sampha. Uh,
Hoo-wee.
this track, this beat, this is my shit. This is what I'll bump in the car.
Yeah,
Um,
I can understand that, bro. But I think you need to listen to Worldwide Steppers because that was a different type of. You just I feel like, do you understand the concept?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Okay.
keep
Because
re-listening to the song. I like this
yeah.
song, and there's songs that I've liked before by plenty of artists that are just not meant to be like and like you were saying, you don't really listen to album like
Hmm.
things outside of albums, you're not a
Hmm.
big playlist guy,
Hmm.
but, like, I'm not sure, like, guess it's just the vocals that are off-putting to me.
Yeah,
That's
I
just not
definitely
my
understand that. Yeah, I
I
definitely
can't get behind
understand.
that.
For me, and again,
Um,
everyone picks something different, whether the beat to cater to the lyricism or the content, and I'm a little bit more the lyricism type. And again, just
yeah,
like I was talking about earlier, just about everyone steps in a different way, whether that's Kendrick cheating, someone murdering something, you cheating on your exam, it's affecting someone else. So I thought that was dope. Father Time was another deep track like you were talking about.
yeah.
And again, so happy to see Sample back from, I don't know, he was kind of gone for a little bit, right? I haven't seen any features from him recently
He
at
was I
all.
think was he on the Drake project? I think he was on
He was,
Certified
that was a
Lover
while ago.
Boy.
Yeah.
He
Oh, really?
killed he killed the
Mhm.
feature.
Oh my goodness.
Early
Yeah, the hook
morning
is a
wake
big
up,
part.
practicing on day us.
Hmm.
I love the theme on this track, and Kendrick's really, he's just talking his shit. He's very good, if not the best, at like sticking to a topic and really
Hmm.
expanding on it. And you were saying
Yeah.
how like Cole's like easier to understand. And for us, me and you, we listen to music to like do these deep dives and like listen to the Dissect podcast and see like all this shit.
Hmm.
But I would the most listeners don't wanna listen to an album 9 times to finally be like, "Oh, I do like it." 'Cause that's 9 hours, like, that's a lot of time.
Yeah, it
And,
is,
like
but hey, it's
yeah.
Kendrick.
Like, I saw people on Twitter, they're like, "Yo, 8th listen, it hit. You gotta get to the 8th listen." And, like, not everyone's got the time to get to the 8th listen to do that. Um,
Yeah,
and then,
I definitely get it, I definitely get it. For me, it was my second actually, my second listen where I'm like, "Wow, this is really great." First listen was off-putting,
yeah,
but, I enjoyed it either way, man. I just enjoy the deepness and how vulnerable he's being. A Father Time, I loved it, deep stuff as well. I was also surprised by the Drake and Kanye line. I'm like, "Oh, dang, that's
yeah,
pretty crazy for you to mention," but it wasn't a diss or anything, just the fact that, if they could get along, then
yeah,
he might have some, like, problems within his life that he's not
yeah.
seeing, some
And
morality issues.
something I saw a rapper named Quell Chris who dropped the same time was talking about this,
Mhm,
and the same thing that I was texting you about. I saw some people on Twitter discussing this. It is
mhm.
interesting that, like, my friend Jake, he doesn't listen to this style of music usually, but he's texting me. He goes, "Instant classic, best album of the decade." But I would play,
Instant?
and yeah, he was like classic. And
We
you were
like that.
saying how like some of the deliveries are similar to like MF Doom style rap. If I ever played something like that in a car, I get like bullied by my friends or get this shit off. But when Kendrick does it, it's like, whoa, classic. So I think Kendrick does get
Yeah.
his he does get like a little, not little, huge boost
Privilege?
because like he's Kendrick Lamar,
Almost
so it's
because
like
it's
when he
Kendrick,
does
I
it,
don't
it's
know.
like whoa. But there's been people who have been doing this type of music, so that's why I don't think
Yeah.
it's like that experimental as people are saying. Because like he's is taking like a vibe, like Father Time, like that beat, like isn't something like it's a beautiful beat, like amazing, but it's not like whoa, what is this? You know what I mean?
I definitely see what you're saying. I definitely see some of that because it's Kendrick Lamar, you'll let it slide. You remember back then in this world where COVID lines, any COVID line was corny, it was
Yeah,
taboo, it could get you in jail. This boy talked about COVID heavy, and I didn't hear a single
yeah.
person say that was corny.
Is
So
the
I definitely understand the Kendrick
yeah
slide, that letting him
is
slide.
the name N95? I could be being really stupid right now. Is that based off
Mhm.
the mask? Like Corona mask, like an N95 mask?
Yes.
It is, okay,
Take off the jewelry, take off the foo-foo.
okay. Oh, that yeah, okay. The way you were laughing, I'm like, "Oh, I'm wrong." I connect that
No, no,
today,
no,
I'm
you're
like,
right, you're right, you're
I'm
right.
like, N95 mask, that makes sense. But moving on, we
Yeah,
had,
so he's
Rich
being a
Spirit.
little bit clever.
How did you feel about, because I know you do not like this man. How did you feel about
Yeah,
Kodak's inclusion on this
unfortunately.
now that we're getting to, Rich Spirit interlude on the track
Kendrick is a
list?
very smart man. He's a very smart man for not releasing that track list. Because if I would have seen Kodak, I would have thrown that phone across the room to hit
Yeah.
the wall and break. But I don't. I still don't know. I've still even people they're not sure exactly why Kodak is on here. Maybe because of his lifestyle and being brought up in the same impoverished area and being conflicted and tempted to do these bad things in a public
Yeah.
setting. Maybe that is why he included him to share his story a little bit. I still don't understand why.
Yeah.
Honestly, to me, I didn't. When it came to the talking and the speeches and the poetry, I enjoyed. But
I
when
thought
it
that was
came
cool on
to
the
like
interlude.
Silent Hill, cut that out.
Yeah. We'll get to that because that's, like, one of my
Mhm,
favorite songs. I know you did
mhm,
not like that. I thought
mhm.
the Rich Spirit interlude was, like, really cool, the way he was doing, like, the spoken
Yep.
poetry, and I think it's
Mhm.
interesting that I feel like Kodak Black, not that he doesn't deserve it, because I like him. I think he gets, like, so much respect in the industry. Like, Cole said, um, "Talk to the young homie Kodak, reminded me of homies from Ville, straight out the projects, no faking is honest. I just wish he had more guidance for real." Like, Cole shouting him out in a song, Kendrick's putting him on
Hey,
his
did y'all hear
album.
this man? Did he just say Kodak gets a lot of respect in the industry? I don't know if my ears. I don't know if
Bro,
there was a
he's
lag or
got
something.
Cole's talking about how Cole's dropping his name on a song and talking about if he had guidance, he'd be, like, a top
Yeah,
tier
because he needs
person.
a lot of guidance, brother.
He does, and then Kendrick's putting him on the album. Um, I
I
think it was an
guess, I
interesting,
guess, but
conclusion. But then
mm,
getting into Rich Spirit, this is one of the songs that I started being, I fuck with this one. How do you feel about Rich
yeah.
Spirit?
I didn't like it at first, and I did hear the West there's really West Coast influence, almost like I could hear Vince on this very easily.
Yeah.
But ooh, I'm attractive. I don't win no more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fast, bro.
He's
It's a
feeling
vibe.
himself.
That's probably one of my favorites off the album. It was a great track. And the whole concept of it's not money that makes you rich, it's your insides that make you rich, which is something he discovered through therapy, which goes along with the whole theme of the album. Again, really deep stuff. So I feel like if you really enjoy an artist, you will enjoy if they have deep content to share. Even if the
Yeah.
delivery may be off or whatever, I enjoy Kendrick, whatever he has to say, if it's deep enough and poetic enough, you know?
I like the phrase, "Stop playing with me before I turn you to a song." Just sometimes, like, the way an artist
Yeah.
phrased something just, like, sticks to my ear.
Mhm.
Like, I thought that was a cool thing to say.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah. The GOAT.
and then
Next,
wait,
we
what
cry together, baby. Yeah.
alright, so this track, first, like, I hear that little zooming thing in my ear, like the "eew." I'm like, "Alchemist."
Mhm.
I know it.
Yep.
He's got that
I
spacey
knew it
feel.
immediately.
Shout out
Mhm.
Alchemist. I saw he was so happy he was on this album.
Mhm.
Um, and he produced Fear on
Yeah,
Damn.
I think it was Fear, one of those tracks. I think it was Fear or Pride. I think Fear.
If it's Fear, Fear's like one of the best beats ever. I love that
Yeah,
song
it's
so
yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Um, but this track, another example, probably the best example to explain the album of how it's not meant to be replayed. But if you're listening to the album, what a fucking cool song. Um, First, shout out
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
Taylor Page, because
Oh my
these acting
goodness.
skills. And like me and my friend were listening to this album. Yeah, shout out Taylor Page.
Mhm.
On first listen, when I was bumping this with my friend, like we were laughing out loud at some of the lines. Like it's funny,
Mhm.
like because like it feels like you're literally like
Yeah.
there. Like it's like an uncomfortable song. You're hearing two people fight, and they are just so
Yeah,
good at going about it. This is
yeah,
like some
it's
old school
very
Eminem shit.
intense. It's very intense. Yeah, exactly. I saw everybody when they reacted to this. The first thing they thought was "Kim" by Eminem.
Yeah,
Again, we already know this that Kendrick is inspired by Eminem as well. Even with the vocals, of the high pitched voices,
yeah,
the characters, the acting, he's known to do this. And I really enjoy Taylor Page. She made this track an A+. Obviously, like you
yeah,
said, I don't really be replaying this in my car unless I was a psychopath. Please
yeah,
call 911 if you hear anyone bump into this. But
yeah,
again, if I'm playing through the album, I really appreciate what it stands for and
yeah.
talking about the discomforts between parents in America.
Yeah, and
But
I
yeah.
like how I love the intro to the song. I love the intro to a bunch of songs. This one starts with,
Hmm.
what are they singing? Oh, it sound how I'm not sure how it goes melodically, but it's a really cool intro, and then it
Hmm.
goes like, "This is how the real road is," and then it goes into, like, the little bottle shaking, and then it goes into the
Yeah, all
song.
the arguing. Yeah.
This was a really well executed, track, and I
Mhm.
think that I don't know, there's one more song. When does it switch into, like, the second half of the album? Is it after We Cry Together? Or is it after Purple Hearts? Yeah, it's after Purple
It's
Hearts.
after Purple Hearts, which makes
Okay.
sense because it's literally the closer to the fight. Purple
Yeah,
Hearts, shut up when you hear love talking. Just you gotta understand each other. And
yeah.
before, when the track ends on We Cry Together is when you hear the footsteps, the whole stepper, the
Yeah.
stepper theme. And you
Uh-huh.
shouldn't like step around the problem. So hearing Purple Hearts, I thought this track was
Yeah.
so underdue. Summer Walker's amazing. I feel like she should have had a project with Kendrick or collab with Kendrick so long ago. But I love this.
Yeah.
Ghostface Killer, amazing.
Very similar vibe, or like my opinion's very similar to Die Hard, where it's like switching back and forth how I feel about this. First, shout out to our guy West Side Boogie for co-writing this. I know he's from
Hmm.
Compton, and notes are really cool. If you, I'm not sure if you've ever watched this. I think it's a Vox. It's some interview with Kendrick where he brings them to Compton like years ago on YouTube, and you can see West Side
Hmm.
Boogie in the background, like with all like the other people from Compton, which is like really cool to see him just
Yeah.
like hanging out there. Cool of Kendrick
Yep.
to include him on this album. Um,
Hmm.
I like
You know
I
what?
like Summer Walker's
You go. Sorry,
verse.
my bad.
I will say I like Summer Walker's verse a lot. I really like this beat, honestly. I really love the drums on it. And
Mhm.
Ghostface Killer killed it at the end. Um,
Yep,
but I think I like this one more than Die
as
Hard
he
if we're
always
talking about the
does.
two like poppy tracks on the album. 'Cause these are easily like
Fair
the two
enough. And you know a crazy
poppiest.
story about the West Side Boogie feature? You know
What?
that West Side Boogie should be signed to TDE, but he's not because of the whole like Crips and Bloods thing, and he was born on like the an opposite
Really?
side. It's because of that yeah, he was not a sign of TDE, but they still have some type of relationship ties. But they just couldn't sign him because of that,
That's great.
literally.
Hey, he ended up with
So to
Eminem,
see
so
that
not too
exactly.
shabby.
Yeah,
Um,
and to see that writing credit, amazing.
that's awesome.
Purple Heart, if you didn't know, also is a military decoration awarded by the four branches of the U.S. Armed Forces to those who are wounded or killed. So again, like just making sure you love your loved ones before
Yeah,
they go. You know, shut up when you hear love
yeah.
talking, bro. Come on,
Shut up when you
I
hear
love
love
for this
talking.
first half. I think I like this first half a little bit more than the second, just a little bit more,
Yeah,
in terms of just the cinematic aspect of it. But man,
and
we
I
can get to
haven't
this track after that finally.
yeah, and I personally haven't listened to too much Summer Walker, but I might have to now
Hmm.
because I fucked with her voice and I fucked with this song. And West Side
She's
Boogie had a new
amazing.
song called "Stuck." Great song. His album's
Hmm.
dropping soon, so shout out to him.
Shout out to
Then
him.
I think this next
Next to
song,
the Mr. Morale side.
Yeah, and Mr. Morale side, I think you might agree with me. This is the best song on the album that we're coming on right now, right? Count Me Out?
Definitely up there, definitely up there. I don't wanna say it yet, but
Yeah.
man, this song is different.
'Cause I'm
The
tripping and
sample, oh my god.
falling. Sam didn't know they were actually saying words when they were singing that.
I
Putting you
knew
on
his words,
blast.
but, like, I didn't know what they were saying for sure. I gotta confirm it first, you know? You said
Um,
slipping and falling, so technically
I
you
did,
said it
you're
wrong.
right, I said slipping. It's close. Um, this is
There
probably
you
my f
go.
this is probably my favorite, song on the album. I just thought it was
Mhm,
really well executed. This is a little bit more like classic Kendrick. I just think he's a really good ear for melodies, and that's what really came through on
mhm,
this song. Um, I like when
yeah,
the beat kinda changed, when he's like when, like, he starts doing, like, the "Ooh" ad lib, like, where he's getting hype. And I love when you count me,
mhm,
yeah. I love when you count me, yeah, and it gets all hype. Um,
yep.
this was a track.
Easily, easily. And again, the whole breakthrough thing too. Getting to the breakthrough session. So definitely the big steppers. Was a lot of pain, but this Mr. Morale side was the improvement in his therapy.
Yeah,
And then after Count Me Out, that leads to Crown. A lot of people are really dissing this track, as long as with the last track, just because it was so repetitive, whatever. Like, do you guys not enjoy interludes? Like, what's your problem? Like, this was so beautiful. I love the concept. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Stormzy did something similar with his project from the UK rapper Stormzy. But just that, he can't be your savior 100% of the time, especially if you can't love yourself, you know, how can he call himself a savior? And you can't always rely on him all the time. But I thought it was a
yeah.
beautiful track.
Very like, yeah, I agree, very beautiful track. It does get a little repetitive, um, where like, yeah, it's a little too repetitive for me to keep bumping, but it is a very pretty track. Um,
I
and
guess.
then and then after, Crown, we have a song that I fucking love. This sounds like some shit that's made by Monte Booker. You Don't Like Kodak, which is hilarious, but Silent Hill, um, I like it. And, like, this is a time when he uses the, Baby Keemish voice that I kinda like when he goes like, "Pushing haters off me like, huh, pushing all haters on me like, huh." You're going straight face, you don't fuck with that. Um,
You see my face,
yeah.
bro. Like, I was just so confused what this was. Like, at first I thought it was Playboy Cardi at first. And I was about to throw my phone against the wall. And I'm like, he's doing baby Kim inflections. Like, what is this? What? Again, like I thought
Yeah.
I thought that was a goofy track. There's no need
I
for that at
really?
all. At all.
I thought the chorus on this song, not like that pushing me part, was the second part of it. I thought was the catchiest thing on the entire album. He goes like, "Head up, chest out, silence. I'm stressed out." Like I thought that was the hypest part of the album, honestly. I can see that
Throw
going
this
hard at
whole
the
song
concert.
away,
You better
bro.
you better start listening to it.
Unneeded.
That's out of all the songs that are gonna be performed at the concert that you paid money to go to, this is the one that's gonna go the craziest. This
This
beat
is
goes so
this is gonna be
hard.
me at the concert.
I
This is gonna be me at the concert when he plays that song.
I love that track.
Next up,
Um,
Savior.
Savior. I like so this was honestly I thought Keem rapped his ass off on this. Obviously it's still in his like
Yeah.
kind of an annoying-ish squeaky voice, depends if you really like that. But I thought he was talking his shit. I was honestly impressed by his I mean, I don't know who writes it. I don't know if Kendrick writes it for him. It kind of sucks now that we always have to question what Keem's doing because it's like,
Hey,
hey, did Kendrick?
let's not disrespect him, okay?
No, that's like
Even
I
on
don't.
Family Ties, he said people are questioning my pen. Kendrick helped him, but I think Kendrick is proud of hip hop and he knows the roots, and he's not gonna be a ghostwriter to his cousin. He's trying to lift up. I feel like that's phony. To me,
I
that's almost
hope
like saying Eminem wrote bars for 50 Cent, which I don't know, maybe could, but I don't. I
I
doubt it. I doubt it. I 100% doubt
I
it.
also think that's way different because 50 Cent was like an established rapper before Eminem signed him in like the mixtapes.
Okay,
Like people
fair, but
knew
don't
he
sleep
like
on
bar.
Baby Kim. He writes.
No, yeah, he did, and this was a really cool
He
song,
writes.
especially
Don't hate.
leading into the full song Savior. Um, and I like how
Oh
the
yeah.
beginning of Savior, he's like using all the example. He's like, you might listen to Cole. He is not your savior, and I thought
Hmm.
that was like an interesting because it's true. Because like we all tend to do it. Like if I met J. Cole, I'd be like kissing at his feet. But it's like he's not your savior. Like this guy doesn't have
Yeah.
more knowledge on you. And like you shouldn't only listen. Like if you want to learn about like transgender, the community, don't just listen to this album. Like
Hmm.
Kendrick isn't
Yeah.
the end all be all on this topic. And he kind of talks about that on this
Hmm.
song that like you have to look out there more for
Yeah.
information, which I thought was an interesting topic to cover.
Yeah, and it's very powerful for him to say. Very powerful for him to say, especially coming from him, because he has literally all the power and he could use that any way he wanted to. I love the collab with Baby Keem and also the previous track before. I also like when Baby Keem mentioned that his I think he said his uncle told him that none of this would happen. and now he's using the millions of dollars
Yeah.
he made to buy him a coffin. That
Uh-huh.
hit. I'm like, that's a
Hard.
crazy bar. This song Savior was really great. I just didn't like the chorus at first as much, the whole baby thing, but it's growing on me slowly. But yeah, it's dope.
Also, there's
The
one
next
line
track,
on
Auntie
the,
Diaries, I thought was another
I
spectacle.
liked I liked on the first song when he said,
Mm,
"I bought infinity pools and never swimmed in. I watched Keem buy 4 cars in 4 months." I think that was just, like, interesting
mm,
him discussing how, like, Keem's dealing with the newfound fame and how Keem is falling into
yep.
similar holes that Kendrick had when he first started getting money for the first
Hmm.
time. So that was an
Yeah,
interesting thing to cover.
yeah.
And then that
I love
song,
this inclusion.
Savior
I really did.
Savior leads into probably the most intense song of the album to listen to, Auntie's Diaries or Mother I Sober, either one. But, Auntie's Diaries,
Yeah.
like, another song example of a song that's, like, beautiful and, like, really, really deep, but I don't know if I can listen to that song outside of context of this album just because it's, like, something I feel like you really need to listen to. It's not meant to be just, like,
Mhm.
played for, like, fun, but an incredible track.
I honestly didn't think it was that intense compared to like Mother I Sober or even like We Cry Together was a lot more intense. I really enjoyed this track. Again, I really feel like, and you question me on this, but I feel like a lot of times Kendrick is making music for the black community, for people who are impoverished who can
Yeah.
relate. And a lot of the stuff he's dealing with, which leads to the summation of the album, where he's saying when rappers or black men, they hide their feelings and stuff like that, and they act in certain ways where they shouldn't. Which I think why Kodak is included in here.
Mhm.
I love it 10 times more because I can relate with this so much, especially Auntie
Yeah.
Diaries. Not that I have anyone in my relatives who are transgender, but just the fact of that storytelling. I was surprised he got away with using the F word. I was really
Yeah.
surprised. He really got no backlash. Again, like you talked about before, if any other rapper said this, they'd probably be blasted. But because
But
it's
I guess it's 'cause,
Kendrick,
like, in the
he might
context
get a slide.
it's, like, in the context of the song, and I
Context
thought
too.
it was interesting at the end of the song
Hmm.
how his cousin said, like, "If you're gonna get mad at that white girl you brought on stage for saying the N word, then, like,
Hmm.
you can't
Hmm.
use the F word," which was interesting.
Yep.
Um, and, like, it was very like, obvious this album's made for the Black community, like, I can't like, I wasn't growing up
Hmm.
in a household where, like, that wasn't accepted, but I can understand
Hmm.
through Kendrick and listening to all this music, like, it's interesting to hear that they were all, like, saying those words and making fun of it, and it was weird for him to have an uncle,
Hmm.
and his mom told him that, "Oh, his other
Yeah.
uncles are just jealous because he's getting all the girls," and, I just thought
Hmm.
he tackled this pretty well. I thought it was a cool song.
Yeah. It was definitely one of my favorites off the album. Honestly, top five. I'm not gonna lie. For me, at least, I really
Mhm.
enjoyed that track. Once I heard it first listen, I knew it was one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And the next track, Mr. Morale. Oh my God, Pharrell. Pharrell. I even saw the video of them working
Yeah,
on
yeah, he
it.
was going crazy.
Before, yep, he was going crazy, bro. Kendrick murdered this, and I love it when Kendrick does the
Yeah.
and it just goes crazy. So I love this track. Top five for me as well.
Really, Mr. I. Mr. Brown, I thought was a
Yeah.
really good track. Shout out to, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing it right, but Tana Leon. Um, then Mother I
She
Sober.
was fantastic.
Mother I Sober
Mm,
was such a
yeah.
beautiful song. Just talking about his
Hmm.
mother's abuse and the and how the abuse
Hmm.
at her by her own family, and to the point that she's like asking Kendrick, and no one's even believing him that he didn't get abused because they were so like scarred by that, and just him
Hmm.
watching his mother go through that and not being able to say anything. Like you said, this is easily his most vulnerable project, and like putting those things into recording is like I I I say things in my own music that's nowhere near this vulnerable, and it's like, do I want people to know think like about that in my family? So, like, kudos to him for doing that and executing it in such a good way.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what I'm saying. The meaning for him was more important than making replay value. I get why people can feel some type of way because they waited 5 years, but at the end of the day, it's not your music. It's a Kendrick's music. It is
yeah,
what he wanted to put out. Obviously, Mother I Soul was not a song to bump to, but
yeah,
it's a song that I can truly enjoy. When it's raining, when it's night, I can definitely put this on in my car and really soak it in.
mhm. Raining and soaking it in. I like that.
Yeah, yeah, bro.
Uh,
I need
and getting
someone-
then getting into the final track. I thought it was a good. I thought this was a good conclusion, a good ending to it.
yeah.
Um, what were your final thoughts
Damn,
on
that
the
was so said unconfidently. You're like, yeah, it was a
It
pretty
was like, it
decent
was a good closing song. I
conclusion.
don't think it was anything, like, special compared to, like, I don't
Mhm.
think it was, like, anything that's really stuck with me from the album, the last track. But it did its job,
He says this,
concluded
but
it.
he's gonna listen to 2014. He says this, right, but he's gonna listen to 2014 Forest Hill Drive and listen to the last track, be like, "Yo, this is the greatest
Note to
thing
self.
ever."
You
Note to
when he just
self.
listing off the credits of the album. I actually tweeted
When he
that this
copied
week that
off, Kanye.
who cares? Note to self, honestly, the first part of Note to self should be a full song. And I tweeted that, and I stand by
Yeah,
that.
snap.
Listen to Note to self after this. It's a good song.
Mirror is better in my opinion, but I love this ending. And there's rumors too that Kendrick is serious, that he's choosing himself, aka that this might be his last project, maybe
It's
for a
not.
while or ever.
I mean, he just got his new label, PG Lang.
But maybe it's not for him. Maybe it's just for
Yeah,
the people he's signing, and he wants to be a label head now.
yeah,
Because again, a lot of this fame stuff, Loki did. I want to say ruin his life, but it caused him a lot of pain, and he doesn't want to
yeah,
go to that. He's not even in the
I,
public eye. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So it's gonna be a
I
while, I
mean,
think, before he drops another
yeah.
project.
I'm not the biggest Keem fan, but I'm sure Keem will keep doing well. He also signed
Mhm,
another artist who I listened to. I wasn't like blown away by
mhm.
anything by the guy.
Yeah.
But what's your final takeaway from this album? How is it ranking for your album of the year list? Um,
I need to give. I know this sounds kind of whack, but I want to give it more listens. There's a time where I felt like, and I was really listening to this heavy. Um, I said it was just as good as Damn, if not low key, slightly better. I'm about to listen to Damn again. The thing is, I like Section 80 more than Damn. I know I do,
uh,
and Damn is an amazing project.
I've seen
But
a lot of damn hate on
yeah,
Twitter this week.
really,
Yeah, people are saying it's his worst album easily. I think it's better than this, but they're different types of
mhm.
albums.
As
Um,
of right now, I'm gonna put it at his least best. Yeah, I'm going to because I like Section 80 and Damn more.
uh,
But I think if I give this more listens, maybe it can compete. I guess because of the gritty nature and difficulty of listening to this,
yeah,
and the different flows and stuff, it does have to be at the bottom. But still a great
yeah.
project nonetheless. Honestly, like a 7 for me, like around a 7, 7 out of 10, light 7.
Yeah, I do something similar.
Mhm,
Um, once again, like there's albums that I'm listening to over this. Like personally, I really like the new Pusha T album. So
mhm.
if I'm going to listen to a full album, I might pick up that first. But there's a time and place for something like this.
Yeah,
Maybe for a long ride, and you're like, I need to learn some stuff. I'll bump
yeah.
some Kendrick.
Ugh, either way, man, we still got a Kendrick album. I'm really grateful we did because it's been too long for that.
Yeah,
But either way, man, Kendrick's one of the greatest, dead or alive, period, and no one can take that from him. And he
yeah,
has a crazy, crazy streak going on for his albums.
he
But
does.
if you tune all the way to the very end, thank you so much. We appreciate you guys' support as we get into this whole virtual thing. Make sure you
Yeah,
like and subscribe. Give us 5 stars on, streaming. And I think that's it. Anything I'm missing, my guy?
we out.
We are out.